This episode is brought to you by Rain Energy Drink, Total Rain Body Fuel to help fuel your body.
That's how you know you sound official when you do that.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Iron Will, the founders, the owners, the CEOs, whatever you guys want to call them. And you are not mistaken if you're listening to this episode. This is the second time we have them on. As a man of honor, I'm going to let you guys know that we fucked up their episode and we lost it. So us at Mixtape want to have a formal apology to you guys for fucking up the first one. But if there's anything positive that comes out of this, it's that you guys have grown so much more from when you first came. When was that? Fucking
about 3 months ago.
About 3 months ago to now. It's been kind of crazy. So for some of the listeners that don't know you, first of all, that's weird. But second of all, kind of tell them about like your company, how you guys got started, how did the dagger come into place, everything.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it started, I was sitting on my mom's couch right before I went to college. Well, I transferred universities, but I was just sitting there and I had this smaller company, the little clothing company that I'd started before with a couple friends, and just didn't really work out. And so I was just kind of at the drawing board. Like I wanted to kind of, redesign the company just for me, because it was just going to be me. And I just kind of came up with the name and the logo, and, made the logo myself again, just, sitting on my mom's couch, and just kind of started putting samples in from there. And I was lucky to have a good mentor, who I still consider a mentor today. His name's Taylor. He owns a company called NFQ and a couple other smaller companies too. But he kind of guided me in how to put samples in and things like that. And I was just started testing materials and really just wanted to create things that I liked, create things that I wore, because, there wasn't many brands that existed in the fitness industry that I really like, that really kind of shared my sense of like my appreciation and my sense of style, I guess. Right. So I wanted to kind of create that in the market. And again, just really create things that I wanted to wear. And then fast forward a while, started promoting for our first drop, and that's when Matt had kind of really come along, and we were friends. We met at Syracuse, a few weeks later after I started the company. Really, he started helping me with like photo shoots and just kind of just helping out on back end tasks and things like that. And slowly he just started helping out more, and then we both moved out to Arizona together after about a year and a half within the company, and now here we are. We got a team of about 6 or 7 now, and it's pretty crazy. Obviously, we're skipping over a lot of things, but that's
of course, no. But what year did you guys what year did you first start? Like, what's the timeline from when you first thought of the idea to like present where you are now?
I thought of the idea in 2019, kind of fall 2019, and then we had our first drop at the end of 2019, and it was kind of started from there. So, yeah, it's been about 2.5 years since we've been kind of doing it, and it took, a little over 2 years for it to really kind of, like we said a couple months ago, was really when things started kind of going crazy.
And for a lot of you guys listening, 2019 is when I first opened the gym, and that's kind of how I met Derek originally. He came to the gym with a couple people I knew, had this dope hoodie. He's like, hey, is it cool if I shoot here? I was like, yeah, for sure. I'm always about seeing other entrepreneurs. Whatever I can give, of course I'm going to give. And then I remember it went from that hoodie to jerseys to shorts to hats. I mean, the line from when you started from just like hoodies and shirts to now has grown crazy over 2.5 years. Did you envision this, Matt? Like, was this part of the plan, or did you guys think we're going to pretty much just be shirts and hoodies? Because I mean, there's companies that just stick to what they love and what sells, but you guys have expanded like tremendously on your line.
Well, the vision's always evolving. So when we first started, I mean, Derek was heavily into bodybuilding, so it like represented what we were doing at the time. So it was t-shirts, cutoffs, raw edge shirts, and now it's evolved to, lifestyle pieces that we're getting into now. So we're always evolving, and there's really no cap on what we're going to do. So,
and that's what we like to do. We don't really like to be defined as just like a bodybuilding brand or just a gym wear brand. I want to bring just elements of a lot of different, I'm inspired by a lot of things and a lot of different people, a lot of different industries, and I want to bring those elements to this. And I mean, my goal is to be able to create like a complete wardrobe for somebody.
Yeah.
Well, when it obviously the clothes, but lifestyle pieces, if you were to go for a run, a run or a workout, when you're going out, at night at a, to a nice restaurant with your significant other or something like that. We want to create the whole wardrobe for somebody, not just gym wear.
Right,
And it's still heavily that, and that will always be our foundation, because that's how it started, and it's still still us, and still our audience. But we want to kind of make it everything and anything.
So like in 2019, when you were starting off, I mean, who did you look up to as far as like what company were you like, this is like a company that I don't want to say emulate, but I want to be at that level with what they were doing with their apparel? What's someone in 2019 that you were like?
So like I had mentioned, that there wasn't many brands that I really, that I liked a lot,
Yeah.
or that the one that I did really like was Dark Sport. And that's the one that we obviously get compared to a lot, but they were the main one from the beginning. I just love what they did. Very, very inspired by them. It's always, been like Nike, the story of Phil Knight building that.
Yeah.
Represent is one. Kith has always been one. So, these are companies that are in all kind of different areas of the clothing industry, but they all do things in their own different way and unique way. And I was inspired by most of them from the start, and continue to be to this day. They're just their own labels, their own brands. They don't really fit into a particular box. You got Kith doing things for the Knicks, but then they also do, their Kith summer collection was pure lifestyle things. You know what I mean? So they're kind of everywhere. And
They got a BMW too.
they got a Kith BMW.
They got a Kith BMW. Whew.
I definitely can't skip over, Kanye and Yeezy. He's probably been, he's right there in that kind of circle with those other brands, and just how undefined he's always been, with Yeezy, and just how much he innovated.
Right.
That's my inspiration, to always keep innovating and always keep bringing something new to the table, because you look at every one of his albums, every one of his collections, it's a complete 180 from what he did previously. And I've always just loved that. And, it steers people, it makes them, everybody kind of questions it at first, but then it becomes like normal.
That's my favorite.
I just, that's
my
me too.
favorite.
Me too.
Yeah. I remember I bought some stuff from his first season 1, and people are like, why are you paying for homeless clothing? Right? Like the shit.
And look what happened.
Now, if I resold that on Grailed, I'd get like at least $700 for just a tee. It's crazy, right? What about you, Matt? What are some of like the companies that like inspire you? I mean, obviously you guys integrate what your fashion sense is into your clothing, and it shows, right? So what's some, like growing up, some clothing labels that you really rocked with?
Well, honestly, I didn't have very good style before I met Derek. So
What?
yeah, it's crazy.
Changing, bro.
Yeah, but I mean, now like our biggest ones like Fear of God, Represent, like a lot of the bigger brands like that, we draw a lot of inspiration from. But yeah, before Iron Wolf, I didn't really have a shoe game or really that much style. So
Hold on. This
evolving.
man says he doesn't have a shoe game. I know we can't do the camera. This motherfucker has off-whites on.
I didn't.
The 10. I know, but bro, you went from nothing to something. I don't even got those. That's a 10 right there.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Well, you evolved very quickly, Matt, on your shoe game.
Thank you, Iron Wolf. Thank you, Derek. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. No.
No, those are dope. Did you guys think prior, like even when you guys linked up in 2019, that everything would transition so quickly for you guys? I mean, you guys started up, so you don't have to give exact numbers, but an idea of like, what were you selling in like 2019, units wise, number wise, like what's the growth been from 2019 to like now?
Really the best example is really the width of our collection. So our first collection was maybe 6 pieces wide, and we were doing some things we had 30 units each, 50 units each. And, we started slowly scaling from there.
Our very first was 2. It was pretty much like, or 2 products.
Yeah.
It was 4 pieces.
Yeah.
2 hoodies, 2 t-shirts.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And then it kind of, just kind of slowly started growing from there. And now we're at, our summer was 27 pieces wide. Sheesh. And our fall is going to be a total of about 34 pieces wide.
34 pieces.
Yeah, and we probably won't go too much more than that, just because we don't want to make it so much to where like people don't, there's too many options or anything like that. But that's as long as we can make sure that every single piece has substance and is a great product. We're gonna try to do that many. We're not just doing that just to give a number out on the, just to show a bunch of products releasing. Every single one we sample for months and months, and most of them 2 or 3 rounds of sampling before we finally say, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, it's the shit that we don't see like as consumers. The pants you're wearing right now, those are part of the fall collection, right?
Yep.
And I remember I was like, dude, those are hot. Like I like those, I want those. And you told me you've been working on those for 6 months. So just so the listeners know, like it's not like it's a, hey, I like this sample, I'm gonna order it from AliExpress, come in and put a zipper on it and do shit. You guys take a lot of time with the quality control of what you guys have. Even I was talking to Matt kind of off camera, and he was telling me about the different types of shirts, what was like foreign language to me, you know, about the weight, the quality, and I'm like, I never knew so much goes into it. So like, kind of take me into, I guess you want to call it your war room. Like who's giving pieces that inspire? Are you saying like those camel pants are totally out of the realm of anything I've ever seen? Like how did that even, that piece right there, how did that even come into where it is now? Like whose idea was that? How do you guys even get everything, your line situated?
Well, it starts with Derek's idea, and then we all sit down in like our war room and we all collaborate. And then like once we get the sample, we'll have Adonis try it on, and pretty much it's like a dedicated time to where everyone's just focused on one thing, which is that sample. So we're all giving our ideas, what can be better, what can we improve, the materials, the weight. I mean, like it's very in depth and detailed. We have people taking notes so we can look back and see what we said the last time, and then go off improvements from there.
Yeah, it really starts, you know, I'm really the one who kind of develops the vision for everything, and I take, like, again, I take a lot of inspiration from, you know, I have just an Instagram page to where it's peer inspiration, like peer brands and people that I follow that I get inspiration from. So, you know, I'll, you know, I mean, these pants, you know, I've seen, you know, similar pants to these, and I just, you know, I see a lot of things I just see, and I want to make them my own and make them better, and make the, you know, the best possible version of them on the market, you know. And same thing with our t-shirt, you know, everything we do, we strive to make it the best, like absolutely the best. And, you know, that there's no ranking system or there's no, you know, like voting system for it, but we try to reach with every single product. We try to reach like, this is an undeniably excellent quality product. And it all comes back to our focus on the customer, you know, because without the customer, we don't have a brand. Without our audience, our community, that is just, I'm just humbled and blown away about like how passionate they are about our products, you know. So we're serving them, you know, we are, you know, they're spending their hard-earned money for our products and for, you know, buying into kind of our mentality and the message that we're trying to put out. So, you know, the biggest thing for us is making sure that they when they buy something, they know, or they have a extreme belief that they're going to get something great, and then when they get it, they're blown away even beyond their expectation. So that's really the biggest thing, like with our whole process is, you know, it starts with just the idea. Our designer, Josh, he does an amazing job with just really understanding my ideas and, you know, where I want to go with things. And then he illustrates, you know, he does all of our graphic tees and things like that. As far as the specific pieces, that's still more so like for me developing, or at least having the idea. But then again, we all look at everything we all have different perspectives. You know, Matt and I are honestly, in terms of business, we're the complete opposites of each other. So like I'm always the one kind of thinking, like I'm just always in my head and thinking long term and big picture, and Matt's the one's like, hey, what about this detail? What about this little part? What about this little part? Because, and that's how we're able to operate so well, I think, because, you know, we get into it a lot. We're like, no, like, you know, cussing at each other, and like we get mad at each other, but we all know it's to build the best product and, you know, to build the best brand.
I think those make the best partners, and I
Truly.
always refer back to Marissa and I. You know, we've been partners for a long time. And I'm kind of like you, where I'm like, oh, let's get fucking a helicopter here. We could probably build a pool here. And she's like, well, these are the logistics.
Yeah,
this is
exactly
the money. Like, this is how far your vision can go. So I think that makes a good partnership. You know, you need someone like a you to be like, this is how we're actually financially going to get it there. And then you're the one with a vision, and you just kind of make it, see how we can make it happen. So Adonis isn't on camera right now, but he's back there. You guys may have seen him on every reel fucking possible on your IG. Is there anything ever that they bring to the table that you don't like, that you're like, this is fucking not gonna work? Has there ever been a piece where they're like, oh, I'm feeling this, what do you think, Adonis? And you go, nah, bro, this doesn't work?
Absolutely not.
Never.
No, literally every single time I see like something that's projected to come out or a sample that comes in, I'm like in love with it.
Really?
I mean,
He tries to steal
of
it.
course,
He tries to steal it? I would.
tries to
I'm not gonna
steal
lie.
of course, there's like the few adjustments that we all collaborate on, but you know, from Josh creating the design all the way, you know, until the shirt's made, it's just, I love it.
Have you guys ever had a piece where like one of you guys are like, I want to do this, and you're like, fuck no, this is stupid?
Oh yeah,
A
all the
lot.
time.
Give me an example of one. That never made it onto the iron wheel.
made it.
There's been
Never
a lot,
made it.
man. There's been a
Has
lot,
there?
and I feel bad for Josh a lot because he will spend. I mean, you know, that's his craft. It's his art. It's what he does, and he's amazing at it. And he'll do things, and I'll just be like, dude, like, I'm just not feeling it.
Does he take it personal though, or no?
He's gotten a lot better with it. Yeah,
so much better.
because it's his love, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's his craft, it's his
Of
passion,
course, yeah.
and you know, so like we've, you know, but he understands now to the point, you know, it's what's best for, you know, the company, and you know, I don't do it just to piss him off, but
Right.
like I'm so over the top. I care so much about like every aspect of our brand. Like I'm just, you know, I grew up with like a lot of anxiety, and you know, like it was a limiting factor for a while, but you know, I've come to like, it's really helped me like be over the top specific and careful about what we do. And you know, it can be an issue sometimes in terms of those situations, because everybody will love something and I'll be like, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But if that's what it is. Like I have to be.
thought it was like, yeah.
I have to be. Yeah, I have to be like 100% in it. You know, and want to promote it and want to show every aspect of it. And there's one little thing that I don't like. I just can't.
The first pair of paisley shorts that we did.
Yeah. Oh my
Everyone
gosh.
loves them.
Yeah.
Everyone loved them. I love them. I still wear them.
He still wear. I get
Oh, you have
pissed,
the-
I
you
get
have the
pissed,
OG.
I get pissed at him when he wears them.
And
Because people are
everyone
like, where do
loves
we
them.
get those?
Yeah.
Like, bro, those never made it to market.
Yeah, the one of one.
And that was
So many pieces.
yeah. And I thought they could be better. So it's
You know what? And I know that word gets thrown out a lot, like anxiety, or you know, people have all these words for things, but I think it's really, especially because I know you, I think it's just passion. Like you do question yourself a lot, which fucking irritates me because you're so talented, right? Like he'll hit me up and he'll be like, "So what did you think of that?" I'm like, "That shit's hot, bro." Like trust me, you haven't dropped anything that I didn't like, and if I did, I would honestly be like, I'm not feeling it for me. But obviously, the bigger picture is all the fans and all the people that buy the Iron Will. But I think what I've come to realize, especially with myself, because I'm like that, is just you're so passionate about it, right? That most people don't understand that kind of passion, right? About clothing, about the material, about what you've created from nothing to now, right? I mean, you're following, I mean, just on Instagram, I remember when you guys were like 2,000 followers. Now you guys are what, 20 or
now we're
38.
closing in on 40.
closing
Yeah.
in on 40?
Yeah.
And when I was with you guys for the first charity event that we had at the West Covina Gym Self-Made, I feel like you guys were just coming into your own. And I even told you, I said, man, your team is all bought in on what you're preaching, which is about the integrity of the company, the quality, you know, the vision of it. And I can see it by the way you guys interacted. And from then to now, it's crazy, but I think it's because you're passionate about it. It's easy to follow someone that's passionate about it. And that's why I think people, for as crazy as Kanye is, you know, we think he's crazy on the outside, but to him, he has a vision that I think his team understands. Like, let him do whatever the fuck he wants to do because he sees something that we don't see. And that's with everything. Our, you know, chefs that cook, you know, so yours just happens to be clothing, which is fucking badass. And you're making a living off of it. So for you, I love the fact that you're so passionate about the little details, because you guys have a big enough name now, honestly, where I feel like you guys can put some random stuff out if you wanted to, and you would move units. Right. But every time I talk to you about like a fall, summer, a spring collection, you're always like, yeah, dude, I've sampled like 16 different colors, 16 different shirts, this and that. I'm like, really? Because if you would have put it out, none of us consumer wise would have known, but you, as being so passionate, you know, and a leader of Iron Will, you would know, and it would bother you. So I don't think it's anxiety. I think it's you're just at that like passion level where it's like no one can tell you different about your company.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think you just have to embrace. You are, though. You've been embracing it.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
It's getting there.
That growth from 2019 and now, what do you think is the reason why you guys grew so fast?
Well, I don't even know if it's fast. I mean, we were just consistent. Consistency. I mean, we kept doing the same things over and over again, fixing our mistakes, because we made tons of mistakes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But we didn't ever make the same mistake twice, which is, I think, the biggest thing in business is never making the same mistake twice. And then from there, you know, people say overnight success. Oh, we blew up. It's like we put in 2.5 years until that, you know, that blow up. And now people are like, oh, they're blowing up and it happened overnight. Well, no, we've been consistent for 2.5 years, and now it's finally starting to show. And then we're going to keep being consistent, you know, from this point forward.
I love that consistency.
That's really been it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and again, you know, consistency, learning from mistakes. Again, not making the same mistake twice. And just admitting mistakes. Yeah, like, you know, and just all of us just being so passionate and caring about our community and just going over the top for our people. You know, it's not about making money. It's not about profit. It's about creating something amazing for the world and making our customers feel a certain way when they receive their products, when they put it on, when they're working out, when they're walking around in it. You know, that's really it. So just truly just caring about what we're doing you know, and not being like self-serving in it, or not caring about, you know, again, like, you know, the money or the status, you know, anything like that, you know, that doesn't matter. We're just trying to contribute and really just, you know, change the world, you know. And as long as we can maintain that vision and, again, be consistent with it all and not learn from mistakes, like, you can do really whatever it is. You just, you know, kind of have that mission.
No, you guys are definitely consistent. I don't think you guys have missed a drop or had like a prolonged drop where you guys did like a hiatus and then you guys came back. You guys have been really on point with dropping every single season. What was one season that any of you guys can remember where you're like, okay, we fucking made it? Like, you guys dropped a fall, a summer, a spring, where like in your head, you're like looking at the units being moved, right? I'm looking at Adonis because he's smiling, so he probably has one. Was there like a moment where you're like, holy shit, guys, we're onto something?
It's different for all of us.
Yeah, let's hear what yours is.
What was yours, Adonis? So you're like, this is a drop.
I was gonna say Iron Spring.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big one. I think it all started with like Black Friday of last year. That's where like things started to like really starting to move. Like, we're, you know, having more units, a lot of stuff selling out. Yeah, and let's see what you think.
Well, that was like the first little bit of proof that we were kind of doing something right, because everything was like, we didn't ever like go backwards since we started. Like, everything grew and built and started growing from, you know, from when we started. But Black Friday was kind of like the first like little proof, like, wow, like we actually have a community here, like we actually are doing something great, or good at least at that point. And then Iron Winter was our next big one. That one did really good. That was the one that you were a part of. And a lot
I was a part of it,
it was,
so
yeah.
I had one shot in there. No, that was fun, man.
Yeah.
You know, and for the Iron Winter one, I was a part of that. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of that. And honestly, you guys have been tremendous to me, you know, since the jump. But that's when I was like, oh, there's a lot of work that goes into this. You had, how many athletes did you have there?
I think it was like 15
Like
or
15 athletes.
out of state athletes.
Out of state athletes. They had like the overhead light. It was like we were making a movie. I mean, if you guys want to see what, you guys probably still have it on your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Go back to that reel.
Yeah,
And
January.
that shit was like a movie. But then I thought, like, I saw you guys working in your element, and I was like, wow, this is a production. This takes a lot of work, and this is stuff that we don't see, right? Like, and when I say we, I call us normies, the consumers that just go online and buy the stuff. But and when I say like you guys are like an overnight success, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I'm just, some companies take 5 to 6 years to grow. You know, an example is we had Lisi Fit, and the two owners, I think they worked 3 years before they finally saw profit. I think they told me, but they had their warehouse, I guess if you want to call it, was in their apartment. They had a 1-bedroom apartment, or 2-bedroom rather, and one room was devoted to their clothing. They would have people come to their apartment in LA and they would sell it, but they never missed a drop. They were consistent on trying to leveling up, and then just one day she said they woke up and their whole website was sold out.
Yeah.
And she goes, and that's the first time their accountant was like, yeah, you guys can take money out of the actual, out of the stipend that we got. And so, like, to me, that's an amazing theme, because then I think the consistency is what the key is for both of you guys.
Right. And I think those people are going to be successful because they can make that work. They're, you know, use 1 bedroom of your apartment. I mean, we did that when we were moving here from, you know, California, and, you know, I moved from New York, and for a short period of time, we had, you know, the stuff being shipped out of my apartment. So, and that was, you know, just last year. So
It's crazy.
Just to think, like, I mean, willing to make those sacrifices and do those things. You know, you don't have your own warehouse, and that might be a little like demoralizing or whatnot. You think you're not at the right position that you should be in your company, but it's all a process. And I think every successful business goes through a stage like that where they have to adapt.
And that's where that passion comes into play. Because again, if you're not passionate about it, like, you're not going to be able to get through all that bullshit. Because it truly is like you're just crawling through the mud at those stages. You have to love and be so mission driven for what you're doing.
Did you, and I asked this to Lisi Fit too, or Marissa did, do you guys have like core values for your company? Right? Because I feel like every successful company has something, core values that everybody has to be bought into.
Yeah.
Right? And I asked that to Lisi Fit, and they responded within 2 seconds. So, you know, I'm kind of starting to see the trend of successful companies. They don't just go through looking for the money, selling units. They have actual core values. What are your guys' core values with their company?
Yeah, we have 4 of them.
There you go.
They're in no particular order. They're all of equal importance. But first one is excellence in all things that we do. Every aspect of the company. Like, our mission is to perform that, whatever that responsibility or that role is, in an absolutely excellent manner. Not just good, not just great, excellent. Excellent products, excellent experience, and that kind of goes into our next one, which is an undeniable product and experience. So we have a product, we have, you know, like our opening experience, you know, our little tags and the details on our packaging and things like that. Like, we need to have such a high level of confidence, like, this is great, like, this will lead to, this is undeniably great. Then, you know, if it's not, then we won't do it. So those two. Third is a contribution to the community that we serve and the community at large. So again, everything is community focused, is people focused, is our customer focused, and community at large. So doing things like the give back that we do every year, and just giving back to the success and the growth that we have, and, you know, not just taking that all in for ourselves and taking all that credit, and just put, you know, obviously we have a business to run, so, you know, we can't just give away everything that we make, but we you know, we do as much as we possibly can with our growth to give back to, again, our community, to make the products and the experience better for them, continue to do that, and again, just the community at large. And then the last one is profit and growth are just a means of our progression, and they're a measurement of our progression, but they are not what we strive for. They're not what we lead with in terms of, like, you know, like, what matters most, our priority. Again, they're just a measure of the value that we're giving to the marketplace, the community. So, like, we set goals for revenue and, you know, monthly, yearly revenue, drop revenue. You know, it's we want to make this much with this drop. We think we can, you know, we expect to make this. But again, all of that is just a direct correlation to what we're doing for the community.
Yeah.
I like that last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize it, and especially if you don't own a business. Obviously, we do it because we're passionate about it, but it takes money to run what we want to do, like get more clothing, expand the brand.
And that was a really hard one to really understand for me, because it's like, when you have a business, it's really easy. Even myself, like, I was just like, am I doing this for the wrong reason? You know, I always knew deep down that it wasn't for the wrong reasons, but, you know, when you start thinking about money and things like that, and it's like, you know, and you don't, I never just wanted to make it about that, you know? So, but it was kind of getting over that thought and truly realizing, like, you have, you know, because I just did a lot of things just to help people at first. And, you know, people would you know, I'd be like, you know, just give. And, you know, you have to kind of lead with that for the most part. But again, like, at the end of the day, you can't give if you don't have a business, if you don't have anything to give, really. So you have to, you know, when it comes down to the commercial aspect of the business, like, you have to kind of draw a line with certain things, but, you know, still always just focusing, you know, doing what you can, really.
I always think of you guys just rode a plane here. The guys flew in from Arizona. They always say, you know, if you ever listen when they say the instructions, if the plane's going to go down, they always say that the air mask is going to drop. Give it to yourself first before you put it on somebody else, because if you can't help yourself, you can't help others.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with your business, like, obviously profits are a means for you guys to help more people.
Yes.
I remember one of my mentors told me, if you want to help people on a bigger scale, make yourself a successful entrepreneur, and then you have the means to help as many people as you want. And even a business partner that I have now, his thing is like, I've been where, you know, you're at, young, mindful of what I want for my business, but I just needed the capital. So he's like, I'm paying that forward. And years from now, when your businesses are doing well, you're going to run into somebody just like you. Make sure you pay it forward, because that's what really the culture of entrepreneurship is, you know, is we all help each other out in different facets, different ways, you know. So I love that you guys think like that.
Yep. So those are our four. You know, we all recognize that those are the four that will never change. You know, every other aspect of the company, you know, who knows what's going to happen with the economy, with social media, with anything, you know. So anything that we do has to be willing to change. You know, maybe someday, 20 years from now, we might not even sell clothing. You know, you never know. I'm not saying that I intend for that to happen, but
Man, the way your brain thinks.
who knows? I mean, we have a lot of other ideas. But those are the four things that will never change, and every single decision, especially high level decisions that we make, have to draw back to those. Do they fall in line with those core values?
Nice. So now the people that wear your shirts, right? They buy them, they spend their hard-earned money. You know, maybe they can't, and I know some people that probably can't afford as much stuff as they buy. What do you want them to feel when they put on your stuff? Like you talked about the core values.
Yeah, confidence.
Yeah.
Really, that was the biggest thing for me. Again, like, I always, when I first started going to the gym, like, that's what made me feel okay. Like, was the style that I had, you know, and that's where I was really big into fashion. I would kind of wear a lot of like weird things and different things to the gym that, like, no one else was really wearing, because it just made me confident, you know, because I was, you know, I was small, and again, I had a lot of, you know, anxiety and fear of social. I had a lot of fear of social situations. So that was kind of like my, you know, not to get too cliche, but that was kind of like my, like almost like my like superhero, you know, my Batman suit, you know, like I felt confident, I felt good, you know, I didn't have to worry about those kinds of things. And you know, that's the feeling that I want to give people. Like that's what I want that dagger to represent. It's a, you know, it's a mentality, and it's that feeling of who you are, and you don't need to like try to you know, to fit in with everybody else. You know, it's like, I know who I am. Like this dagger represents me and my mentality, and it gives you that confidence in any sort of situation. That's what it's about.
Then it also leads to the next step, which confidence in the gym might lead to, you know, confidence outside of the gym, and that could help you progress in your life outside of the gym too. So it's just like a cascading effect. Once you put it on, you get that feeling, and then, you know, your life improves ever since after that.
Yeah, you have a great workout, then you go home, you have, you know, your better conversation with your significant other, then they're happier, and then tomorrow you guys wake up happier, and then who knows what you do throughout the day, and all it could just start with one workout.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, that's why we
look good, feel good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like we kind of, you know, when we create products, like that's what we keep in mind. Like like the one person that wears this product has the potential to change the world. It starts with one person.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we look at it. We don't look at it as 500 people are going to wear this. We look at it as like, how is this one person going to feel?
Yeah, you guys literally have a cult following. Like it's crazy to me. Even, you know, I have a lot of trainers that compete, so I go to a lot of the bodybuilding shows. We just got back from nationals, and it's I love it. It's not even my company, but I love it when I'm walking through the crowd and you see Iron Will shirts, you seen the hats, I seen people with daggers that never met you guys,
Yeah.
right? But there's something about a company that they're willing to wear a dagger, not because they're into daggers, but because what it represents. Right, so that's powerful, right? So it means you guys are getting the message that you want across. You guys, but with that, you guys have a lot of fans, right? And I kind of want to get into because we know each other, so I get a lot of DMs of people saying like, "How do I become an athlete?" Right? You guys are growing as a company. You guys are expanding. How many pieces you guys have at? What does it take to be an Iron Will? I guess what rep athlete? What would you call it?
Athlete.
Family member?
Yeah.
Family. I
Family
mean,
member.
that's what we are.
Right.
Part of the team. You know, it's really, it
I mean, that's
really is.
Adonis.
Yeah, he's the head.
You're the
he's
head of it.
leader.
I feel like you and Jay.
macho.
Yeah.
Like what would you say qualities that you look for in someone that's like, hey bro, I really want to get on the team. I really want to represent this. Like what catches your eye from somebody?
I think personally, it's really, I mean, obviously, you know, the mentality behind Iron Will. So having that mentality, you know, just, and also like the type of content you create. Like Iron Will has a specific aesthetic, you know, and I try to mimic that with all of my stuff. So
Aesthetic. You guys are listening.
Aesthetic, yeah.
Aesthetic.
No, that's true though, right? I mean, it sucks because people always go like, I don't have enough followers. Maybe, you know, I'm not going to get an athlete. And I'm always like, well, make yourself known. Like, see what you do, right? See what one of the athletes do, and then mimic that aesthetic. I know we do it, right? I talked to Ziggy, the photographer here, and he's like, okay, like let me go on their page and match the aesthetics. So when we post something, it falls in line with what you guys do.
Yeah.
So like, you guys get hit up all the time. What do you tell people that want to be an athlete?
So this conversation comes up a lot.
This is you, right? You're the hiring guy.
So
He's the athlete manager.
I'm the athlete manager right now. I mean, I have a lot of other roles, but like slowly passing off athlete manager. But the one thing that we talk about a lot is like being undeniable. That's the one
that word, we've said it many times. You know, everything is undeniable. You know?
undeniable. And whether that mean you're like a professional on social media, you know how to be to work social media, have the qualities that Adonis was talking about when it comes to your mindset. Those are really the big things. I mean, we have a huge list of people that want to be on the team. I mean, like big name people that want to be on the team, but we're slowly introducing people onto the team. And yeah, two, it's just, there's a long list, so you gotta.
The easiest way we could sum it up is like, and this isn't a flex. There are literally thousands. Thousands of people who want a spot, and we have 20 athletes.
I
around
get
20
in
athletes.
my DMs,
Yeah.
and I'm not affiliated with Ironwood at all. I don't even have a promo code, you guys. People are like, hey, what do I have to do to get on the team? And I'm like, hit up Matt, hit up Matt or Adonis.
That's why I get all these DMs.
So
But I
like,
mean, it's cool though, right?
Yeah. So like,
It's awesome.
But so again, we add maybe on two hands maybe per year. Like that's how many athletes we add. We don't really add more than like 10. Again, we've been 2.5 years. We have 20 athletes, so you can do the math.
Yeah.
and there are thousands of people who want to be an athlete. So you have to have every really like be great in every aspect
Yeah.
and put yourself ahead of thousands of people. Like you have to make yourself in the top 1%. So that's, you know, your aesthetic, your passion, if you have the mentality, if you have the community. It's not about following. It's not about following at all. You look at a lot of our guys, 2, 3, 4,000 followers, and then social and on Instagram, that's not really perceived as always to be a lot. But they have a huge community that will buy from them, and like it's again, it's not about following. It's a community that you impact, and that you have, you know, lack of better terms, influence over.
Yeah.
You know, they like you so much, or they resonate with you so much that they are going to take your word when you recommend a product.
Yeah.
You know, that's true community, that's true influence. So I don't care if you have 1 million followers. Like if you don't have a community of like literal like people who love you or just really admire and appreciate you, then that doesn't really matter. And then, you know, social media skills, you know, can you create content that kind of keeps up with how things are going with social media now? So it's really being honestly really, really good, great, excellent at all of those things. And again, you know, you have to be at the top of that list of thousands, you know.
Could I give a suggestion real quick?
Yeah.
Can we please do a talent search?
An athlete search.
An athlete search.
We have
one.
one
talked
in the
about
works.
it.
Oh, do you guys really?
Yeah.
God.
It might be next year, but
Yeah, we don't have any concrete plans for it, but it's something that we're kind of really just kind of slowly letting ideas come to us for, because we don't want, you know, we try to do everything cool and different, and you know, not so normal. So we're just trying to think of the right way to do it. But you know, and that'll give it'll give us an easy answer when people ask. Like, an athlete search 3 months, you know.
No, I
5
think
months.
that'd be crazy, because even I get I'm not gonna tell the person's name, but he sent me like an audition tape through DM of him explaining why he thinks he'd be a good rep for you guys, and I'm like, oh, why is he sending this to me? Like I have no pull.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was telling Derek, or I was telling Matt about it. And I was like, imagine, I don't know where you guys would have the time to filter through all these people. Like, what's your why? Why do you want to be a part of the team other than it's cool? Because it is cool to be a part of Iron World. Like, I went to a photo shoot and that shit was really cool. Then I saw the one you guys did in Orange County at that Onyx gym. That shit looks super cool. So I know being a part of it, people want to be a part of things because they look cool, but there's a lot more that goes into it, right?
Yeah, it's just not about just having a look, or
it's the culture.
It's it's really, you know, like, you know, biggest thing is the mentality, and like what's your, you know, what's your mission? Like, what are you about? You know,
2023
internally.
talent search.
And believe in the company too. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
Like
A lot
like
of-
Adonis, he had 2,000 followers when we first brought him on. You know, we believed in him and he believed in us. And then he put in that work, and look at him now.
We asked him to do a photo shoot. He drove like, how many hours was it?
It was like
3 hours.
3 hours.
6 hours in total, because you had to go back too.
Yeah,
So
just for an hour-long
On
photo shoot
prep.
with us. Went on prep, went right back afterwards just for that, you know. And it's like,
he wasn't even an athlete.
really,
At the time.
you know, in whatever way you can, you know, make yourself known, you know, we recommend it. And there's, you know, there's right and wrong ways to do that. I wouldn't say wrong ways, but, you know, like, I'm not gonna get into it, but you know, but yeah, again, you know, making yourself known, and, you know, being consistent really, and buying from us, you know what I mean? If you try to be an athlete and you haven't even felt one of our products, or, you know, like you haven't shown any sort of support for the brand, then, you know, why, you know, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, you know, why, you know, we're gonna consider somebody who's been buying from the brand and who really loves it.
Yeah.
You know, because we know that they're gonna put that passion right back into the content that they create for us, if, you know, and about the brand, if they become an athlete. You know, we have a lot of people, like, the worst thing you can do is just be like, y'all looking for athletes, or, you know, like,
You said that like you've gotten that DM before.
we get them all day, you know, and then a lot, you know, it's, yeah.
And then we have to go through them and look, and then
Yeah.
you see like, okay, well they don't even follow us. It's
Yeah,
like,
a lot, yeah.
God.
You know, so it's
What?
like there's so many small things you can do that take 5 minutes that will already put you at the middle of that list.
One
at
of them
least.
is just press the follow button, you guys.
Yeah.
If you're not following
know?
Iron Will,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I think I'll help you guys filter through those, because I want to be a part of this search. I just want to look at the videos and be like, dude, this one's good,
Yeah.
this one's not good.
Yeah.
You guys have all guys right now pretty much, but you do have female ones right now. Do you? Yes, no?
Yeah,
Female
we're
athletes?
a little low key.
when are you
about
dropping
it.
this episode?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, this is getting dropped like next week.
Okay. No, we don't have females yet.
Okay, no females. So you guys don't have any females on right now?
We have
Female athletes.
We have two.
We have two.
You have two?
Yep.
Because, well, I mean, it'll probably be close enough
Yeah.
by this time, but we have our women's launch in about a month.
Nice.
Yeah, we're super low key about it. I mean, we've had these couple athletes for a couple months now, and that we've all just kept it very low key. Like, they've just
teasing
things. They haven't announced anything yet. In about a month, we're coming out with our women's launch collection. And
Ooh.
for the women that are listening to this, you know, and we care so much about the you know, just the quality and the you know, just again building an excellent and undeniable women's line, that we're going to really open this up for like the community to help us develop. So we're going to create like a little like a feedback group, you know. We're going to and open it up to the audience to help us develop it, and because again, this is our first venture in it, and you know, it's not something we're taking lightly. Like, we're not just doing, oh yeah, we're just going to do a couple women's products here and there. It's like, no, we want to build this amazing, because again, it's Iron Will's a mentality. It's not just for men. It's not just for bodybuilders. You know what I mean? So we're going to really open it up. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to kind of, you know, drop some stuff on our story for opening that up. But, you know, but as far as women, yeah, we have 2 athletes right now, and, you know, we're kind of actively looking. So
No, I know who both of them are, and they're great representatives.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, undeniable. If you want undeniable, that's her. So you guys have obviously went from hoodies and t-shirts to now like 30 pieces on a drop to now women's clothing. And I know, especially you're always thinking forward and ahead. What would you say besides, I mean, obviously look at now you have like lifestyle pants, right? So what's 3, 4, 5 years? I know it's hard to tell, but what would you say, like, you're like, okay, well, where do you want to take Iron Will? I guess is what I'm saying.
Just wait for 1 year.
Wait for 1 year. Okay,
just,
1 year.
Just 1 year.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't give away too much.
Don't give away too much. That's the thing. I can only edit so much.
all that I know, all I'm really gonna say is that, like, I don't think anybody's really expecting where we're gonna go with this.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think even people that are really into the brand, you know, it's gonna be really, really fucking cool.
So you got
I can
some
just
nice
say
surprises for your
We have
fans.
a lot of good surprises, and a lot of them are more long-term things that we're gonna grow into. Some of them, you know, maybe, you know, we have goals to do next year.
Right.
But you know, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Damn, I'm gonna talk to you off camera.
we can
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
You
I want
know,
to see
you
all the
can get a
blue.
little
No, you
sauce.
probably have them in the car right now.
Yeah, honestly, but no, it's
exciting, dude.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. And again, but you know, we're patient with these things. We're not just going to do things just to do them. You know, we're going to make sure the time is right. And again, we're going to make sure that when it comes time to launch them or announce them or whatever it might be, they're going to be absolutely great. Absolutely great. You know, so we're just easing our way into it. We're not being complacent. We're just making sure that, like, we got all our ducks in a row for
Is
them.
it gonna be an Iron Will Beamer, like a Kith one? In the future. Maybe Iron Will Tesla.
Who knows? Well, hey, Kith and Ronnie Feig, they really opened the door for me to believing those things are
limits.
possible.
Right.
There's really no limits. And you know, when I talk about like the vision for the company, you know, 10 years from now, there really is no limits to what I want to do and what I think that what I know that we will do.
No,
So,
limits are always placed on, you place your own limits on yourself.
100%.
And I tell that to people all the time, you know, like you see so many success stories and people are like, oh, well, he got there because of X, Y, Z. No, he got there because he was consistent. He was passionate. He believed in his own vision of what his goal was going to be in 10 years, in 5 years. And sometimes, because I do get a lot of, like newer clothing companies that reached out, you know, when I had you guys on the first time, and they were asking like, what's the key to their success? I think you guys already touched on it. Is consistency, you know, not so much dropping a bunch of pieces just to drop pieces, but having intent. You know, why are we dropping this? What do we believe in? And now that I have a lot of successful companies that we've had on the podcast, the number one thing is having those core values. So now I can go back and tell people, you know, I think we have core values for Marissa and I, for our team. We just never really called them core values. It's just things that we go over with the team every time we meet. Like, this is what our mission is. This is what I want to accomplish. And it's never like, hey, I want to make this much money. I want to raise this much rent. It's more like, hey, let's have an event here at the gym to let people see how great you are. You know, and I feel like you guys do a great job of doing that with your athletes. You kind of let them be themselves within the realm of Iron Will. So those of you guys that want to be a part of the community, start by buying a piece, right? Start by buying a shirt. And if you feel like that sounds like, oh, I have to buy in order to get in, well, then you're an idiot, because part of being part of a culture is actually wearing and repping that apparel. So for everyone that DMs me, everyone that DMs Matt, if you don't follow them, and I'm not talking about the page, I'm talking about Matt and Derek themselves, then you're already on the bottom, right? And we talked about that. I think you guys are the best representatives for Iron Will. And you guys just kind of started being active on social media. So I think it's great that you guys are taking more initiative to be the face of it. And I know you're kind of like me. I don't put myself on the self-made page at all, because I want it to be about my team. But at some point, people want to see who's guiding the ship, who's running the ship. That's the person I'm going to follow. So you guys have been doing a great job with that. The company's thriving. We have a huge event in December.
Yes.
So December
10th.
10th
Temecula.
in Temecula HQ, Self-Made and Iron Willed is doing the first. I don't think we've ever done anything like this before as a company. We're teaming up with Iron Willed and we're doing a huge charity event, you guys. We have, can I tell you all the vendors?
Yeah.
Okay. We have food trucks, we have car clubs, we have juices, we have supplements.
A lot of different stuff.
We have we may or may not have a fashion show depending on how everything goes, but you guys, this is going to be like a huge event that Derek literally reached out to me about last year and about giving back. And I think we spent more money last year just putting into it than we did anything else. We have a new drop coming out, right? Iron Willed and Self-Made, that's going to be exclusive for only the December event.
Yep.
So those of you guys that love what we do at Self-Made, those of you guys that love what Iron Willed does in general, all the athletes are going to be there. You're not going to want to miss that date, December 10th. I keep on saying 11th because that was last year,
Yeah,
right?
that was last year.
December 10th.
Yep.
So I mean, for me, I'm excited to be able to grow with you guys, right? It started off with Derek with a hoodie and my not even newly open gym. I think I had some equipment there, to now we're here 3 years later about to do a huge event. I'm talking about huge, guys. This is every Self-Made is involved with this. So Rancho, Corona, Long Beach, Hollywood, everyone you could think of, Arizona, all of them are involved with this event. So if you guys haven't yet, mark the calendar for December 10th. We'll have a lot more details, a lot more surprises. I wanted to tease the merch, but I didn't because I don't want to get in trouble by you guys. But we already have the design for the merch done, right?
Yeah.
It's already done and it's quality. So you guys be excited about that. But I wanted to end with, I want each of you guys just to kind of, you have your audience here, right? The people who are listening to this are people that buy from you guys, follow you guys. What do you want to leave them with? What do you want to leave your fans with before we head out of here?
Want me to go?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Just going back to like successful business, and I think the second biggest thing you could do is invest in people. I think that's the biggest win that we've had is we've realized that early, that investing in the right people who believe, investing in the people who will give their time to you and the brand, and really sacrifice, because it is a sacrifice. It's hard, like especially in the early stages of a company, like people aren't getting paid what they need to be paid. Just because we're trying to, or companies are trying to expand the brand, and a lot gets reinvested into that. So like really having the right people who believe in the core values. This goes back to that. It's another thing we do is we have quarterly meetings where we, restate our core values to our, our internal team members as well as our athletes, so they know and they can be aligned with every decision we make, and they can make decisions off those core values as well. So alignment and people. That's what I'll leave you with, and I think that's the most important thing you could do to be a successful entrepreneur.
Go ahead, Adonis.
I just want to say thank you to, I want to say thank you to everyone who supports Iron Willed, and of course all of my fans that, my social media growth has been crazy lately.
Crazy.
So I want to say thank you to all of those people for supporting me, because literally without you guys, none of this is possible. But also a big thank you to Matt and Derek, just for, bringing me onto the team and allowing me to be a bigger part in all of this. So it really means the world.
Yeah, no, you're right up there as the face of it, dude. Like people, when they think of Iron Will, I have trainers at my gym that are like, "What lens is this guy using?
Yeah.
What is he doing?" I'm
I
like,
get asked that a lot, too.
I mean, it's hell of aspiring, bro, and it doesn't feel like it. And sometimes, like, you're in there and you're shooting reels and stuff like that, but people genuinely are inspired by that stuff. Like I read your comments and it's crazy. It's like you can't duplicate that. The reach that you have right now is crazy, and I'm happy for you, bro. Because I remember December, you were just that film guy. To me, that's what I knew you as. And then now, shit, you're like the face of it. You and Jay are taking over. So no, I love that, bro.
Yeah.
What about you, Derek?
I mean, again, just to, piggybacking off what Adonis said, I'm overwhelmed with just with disbelief really on how just passionate the community that you guys are. I think about it every single day. It's what I wake up to. you know, I'm past the point where I need motivation, but it's like the thing I think of like every single day is like I have this, you know, I have this team, I have this community, we have this community that we need to put on for, that we need to serve, that we need to make excited, that we need to deliver for. So again, without you, I don't have a drive. I don't have, this team doesn't have a mission. This team doesn't have a goal or a vision. So you're the ones who make it. So just thank you for, you know, sharing your stories with us and motivating us, inspiring us every day, because that's what we, you know, it's that allows us to pour that right back into you guys. And just a word of advice for everybody. I was just talking to my little brother who's going through, you know, he's 22. You know, a lot of our audience is younger, younger people who are just kind of starting their journeys. Just reiterating, just be consistent, just follow your passion, be consistent, set your goals high. You know, don't let anybody or anything limit you with what you think that you can do, with what you think you can achieve, because that's just, again, that's just placing yourself in a box and just blanketing yourself. And it starts in the mind, it really does. Because if you think you're not cut out for something, then you're not. If you think you are, then you are, literally. And, you know, if you just keep yourself suppressed like that, then you're just going to have this battle in your mind all the time on like, I'm not good enough, and all this self-doubt. And for the first year and a half, 2 years of Iron Will, that's how I was. And again, Black Friday, again, like I said, that was the proof for me to finally be like, wow, like I can get over these things. Because Iron Will is a lot of my experiences growing up with anxiety and with those beliefs, and not thinking that I could do anything great. You know, so that's the biggest thing that I want to show people with Iron Willed and tell people, is that like it starts here. You know, anything that you believe, you know, you can achieve, really. And I know a lot of it might sound cliche or corny, but I am living proof. I didn't have anything growing up, and I just sacrificed and risked, and, you know, try to be calculated and cared about people and what I was doing, and just stayed mission driven. And, you know, we're to this point now, which, you know, still just 1% of what I think that we can all do, and where I know we will be, but just, you know, just believe in yourself.
Oh,
really.
love
Just
it.
even slightly more than you doubt. You know, even if it's 51-49, you're still that's still gonna compound, and eventually you're gonna see the results. That brings that belief to a much higher level. So
I love that. And before we head out, you guys, I want to give a special thanks to Ben
Hepler.
Ben Hepler.
Yeah.
I don't know his Instagram handle, but
day one.
this guy has DM'd our Mixtape Talks page so many times about when this episode's going to drop. So Ben, we apologize again for the last mishap, but this whole episode is dedicated to you, bro. You've been a day one for Iron Willed, so hopefully someday I'll get to meet you. You know, I don't even know where you're at, but I got all your DMs.
Ben was the first one to get the dagger tattoo.
Okay.
We had 500 followers. Man.
Shout out Ben.
Shout out Ben.
Ben, chop this up on the YouTube, Ben. Put it on your page.
Yeah.
The owners know who you are. Adonis knows who you are. I know who you are now. I appreciate you. As always, you guys, thank you so much for coming. We're about to go get an epic lift at South May West Covina. So if you guys want, I'm going to post everything on the stories. But for the most part, you guys follow these guys on Instagram. We'll drop them on the YouTube. As always, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.